Hello and welcome, this is Jit Dolakia and you're watching Itstomorrow News. What are hurricanes? And let us discuss about the recent hurricane season. Hurricanes, also called tropical cyclones, are amazing, powerful storms that can bring destructions and misery to an area hit by the hurricane. The Atlantic hurricane season 2020 is an ongoing, extremely active tropical cyclone season which has featured tropical cyclone formation at record-breaking. So far, there have been a total of 29 tropical or subtropical cyclones, 28 named storms, 12 hurricanes and 5 major hurricanes with 28 tropical or subtropical storms. The season officially started on June 1 and will officially end on November 30th. However, the formation of tropical cyclones is possible at any time, as illustrated by the formations of tropical storms Arthur and Bertha on May 16th and 27th respectively. This marked the record 6th consecutive year with pre-season systems. In the month of June, Cristobal made landfall in Louisiana, killing 15 people and causing millions in damage. In the month of July, tropical storm Faye caused moderate damage and killed 6 in the northeastern United States. 2 weeks later, Hannah, the season's first hurricane, made landfall in South Texas. This was followed by Hurricane Isaias, which made landfall in the Bahamas and North Carolina, both times as a Category 1 hurricane, bringing heavy impacts and a destructive tornado outbreak, causing an overall approximately billions in damage. In the month of August, twin cyclones Laura and Marco threatened Louisiana as hurricanes. Marco ultimately weakened before making landfall on the Mississippi Delta as a tropical storm. Laura caused at least 77 people death. September was the most active month on record in the Atlantic, with 10 named storms, starting with Nana, which destroyed several hundred acres of banana crop in Belize. Is currently a strong tropical storm making landfall in Guatemala. At least 50 people have been killed by landslides in Guatemala after Storm Ita's torrential rain and high winds battered the Central American country. The death toll from the devastating Storm Ita in Central America has soared after the Guatemalan military reached a remote mountainous village where torrential rains had triggered devastating mudslides. Guatemalan president said the number of dead and missing were estimated to total about 150. Many of the dead were buried in their homes in the remote Queja village in the central region of Alta Verapaz, where about 150 houses had been swallowed by mudslides. Hurricane Sally severely impacted the US Gulf Coast, while Hurricane Teddy skimmed Bermuda before affecting Atlantic Canada, shortly also after becoming the 4th largest tropical cyclone on record in the Atlantic. The Greek alphabet started with subtropical storm Alpha, which made landfall in Portugal soon after forming, becoming the first tropical or subtropical cyclone to make landfall in Portugal on record. Tropical storm Beta affected Texas, causing moderate flooding and gusty winds. In the month of October, tropical storm Gamma and Hurricane Delta struck Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Delta would later impact Louisiana, becoming the 10th storm to strike the continental US this season. Just weeks later, Hurricane Zeta passed through the Yucatan Peninsula before becoming the record-breaking 5th storm of the season to make landfall in Louisiana. On the last day of October, another tropical depression formed and later strengthened into Hurricane Eta, which is currently a tropical storm affecting Florida after devastating Central America as a Category 4 hurricane. On May 14th, the National Hurricane Center began monitoring an area of disturbed weather which was expected to form just north of Cuba in a couple of days. The interaction of an upper-level trough and a stalled front over the Florida Straits led to the formation of a low-pressure area in the region on May 15th. The system moved north-northeast and developed into a tropical depression east of Florida around 18 UTC on May 16th before an Air Force reconnaissance aircraft found that it had become Tropical Storm Arthur 6 hours later. September is the peak month for hurricanes because of the warm surface temperatures during this month. Now let's talk about climate change. Outside of the unusual conditions preceding the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, there are also longer-term factors at play, namely climate change. As humans continue to spew greenhouse gases from fossil fuels into the atmosphere, the planet retains more heat and warms up. This can have important consequences for hurricanes as their formation and behavior depend so much on the amount of heat in the air and water as well as on where it is distributed. But hurricanes do not hit waves, they are much more complicated. So there are many important nuances in the effect of climate changes on hurricane pattern. Fundamentally, more energy trapped by greenhouse gases means more energy hurricanes can use, which will push the distribution of the hurricanes that to occur towards greater extremes. In other words, hurricanes will get stronger. As the climate warms, we expect that the upper bound of how intense a hurricane can get goes up at a certain rate with warming, and that's been known for 33 years, said atmospheric science at the Massachusetts University of Technology. More recently, it's also been understood that there is a cap on the rate of intensification and that goes up faster. However, increase in the pace and the range of hurricane intensity don't just depend on the amount of heat the planet accumulates. Differences in temperature between ocean systems in the tropics are also critical. If the Atlantic is warmer than other parts of the tropical oceans, specifically the Indian and Pacific Oceans, that's going to have big implications both for the number and intensity of hurricanes, scientists said. If the whole world warms up, on the other hand, that also affects the intensity of hurricanes, but not nearly as fast per degree of warming. Climate change could also amplify elements of storm surges caused by hurricanes. These events are caused by winds pushing coastal water inland. As sea levels rise due to melting ice and warming oceans, the severity of storm surges will get worse. In the case of surges, I would say that the number one thing that makes me worry about surges is plain old sea level rise, scientists said. The more intense storm that would form in such a scenario could increase surge levels, but they also have a smaller inner core which would tend to generate a weaker surge. Whether the sum of sea level rise plus changes in the storm behavior would result in more or less severe storm surges is not yet clear. Scientists have already observed some trends in hurricane activity but are still teasing out the signals of climate change. One recent study found evidence that the movement of tropical cyclones like hurricane is slowing down. Another study reported tropical cyclones have grown more intense between 1979 and 2017, but scientists noted that the scale of some of these changes may have also been influenced by local factors like reduction of sulfur air pollution over the Atlantic since 1980s. Global climate change may be a factor here, but it's not the only factor. On the other hand, there are other aspects of hurricane that have a more direct link to climate change. Extreme rainfall events have increased in recent decades, and tropical storms are a major source of these downpours. Just the fact that it's warmer means that a given hurricane is going to produce more rain, and it goes up pretty fast with temperature. Hurricane Harvey in 2017 was an example of some of these trends coming together. The Category 4 storm slowed down over Houston, Texas and doused the city in more than 50 inches of rain. For humans, this heavy rainfall may be the most important trend in hurricanes because the flooding caused by hurricanes tends to be the deadliest and most destructive element of the storm. That was borne out in both Harvey and Hurricane Katrina in 2005, two storms that left behind severe flooding and are tied as the costliest hurricane on record. That's all for now. For more news updates, stay tuned with us. Itstomorrow News, Jeet Dolakia. For more weather related information, do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to comment.